Alhamdulillah. Wassalatu wassalamu ala nabina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. This is going to be real quick and short. I want to talk about how U.S. policies about Muslims in America and blacks in America are in a and different view in the global world. For example, in the United States, in the media, especially under Trump and the Republican and under Obama administration, that the policies or the image of Islam in America is always as terrorists, right? But you'll find that the U.S. government outside of the U.S. are allies with many Muslim countries and have even given them aid, money, funds, and other programs and other financial assistance. And you'll find that they're also business partners with many Muslim countries and companies outside of the U.S. While inside of the U.S., in the media, especially under the Trump administration and Obama's administration, that there was always a bad image of Muslims under Trump administration, under Obama's administration, and for sure under George Bush Jr. administration. Rather, under Bush Jr. administration, you find a lot of anti-Islamic phobia being spread in the United States due to 9/11 and due to the U.S. government in Afghanistan and in Iraq sucking out the resources from these countries. So you'll find in the United States history in the media that has always had a negative Islamic phobia approach with dealing with the Muslims and showing them as being terrorists, while outside of the U.S. government is dealing with the Muslim countries in business, treaties, business agreements, policy agreements that's related to money, and they have a good rapport with the Muslims in the Muslim world. Rather, you see the opposite in the media and in the government. What is propagated in the government within the United States is showing the opposite, is showing Muslims as terrorists, savages, and they allow the media to attack Muslims and the Muslim beliefs as calling Islamic law barbarian. Rather, these Muslim countries that the U.S. government have agreements, business partners with, so on and so forth. Even Trump himself, who put the ban on the Muslims, well, you find that Donald Trump have businesses, hotels in the Muslim world, Arab Muslim world, where he claimed the terrorist training and thinking are coming from. Well, he has business there, and he are business partners there, and he has a good relationship with the Muslim rulers there, the governments there. Why? Because it's about money. But in America, it's a false image. In America, they're giving the image that Muslims are savages. And likewise with blacks. In the international community, the U.S. government puts the image that everybody has a chance at opportunity in America. And America is a balanced country. And that America is the country of freedom and freedom of expression and liberty and justice. But within the United States, there's no liberty and justice for black people. And we have seen that openly with police brutality and systemic racism from the government that extends all the way back to the Jim Crow laws and go further back into slavery, where black people today in the United States, they are bombarded with all type of racism coming from every group or every section, from the government section, from the media, so on and so forth, where you have blacks are incarcerated at a large rate, but they are the minority in the country. Blacks are in prison, but they are the minority in the country, but they're the majority in the prison. Blacks are not able to give loans from the banks because of their skin color. Blacks are also not allowed to get loans to buy homes because of their skin color. Blacks are barred from living in certain type of neighborhoods, red zoning, because of their skin color. But America gives the image that it is a land of opportunity and freedom and justice for all outside of the U.S. But within the U.S. is a hypocritical system. It's a lie. Police is able to shoot a black person unarmed for no reason, and he doesn't go to prison. He doesn't even get arrested. But with outside of the U.S., they said no, America is the best place for any black person or anybody, any race. But that's not so inside of the United States. Where today you still have the government who's focusing on destroying the black home and the black peoples, who, like I said, debar them from living in certain areas who debar them, who segregate them by these red zoning, who in school areas in the black areas where the schools are not functioning on standard. We're inside black communities, especially in democratic states, where there's a lot of black single women with children raising children, and the men are barred from the home through the court system, where it has a large population of peoples in family court, black men who are paying child supports, but the government itself is punishing them because they cannot get jobs or the finances are not equal to white people's. And because the system is set up for keep black people behind, but they punish black men from being poor through the family court system, who separate the home. So America gives these false image outside. It's the best place in the land. It's equal opportunity for everybody, but that's not so for black people within the United States. A government that says that it's the land of the free and opportunities, but historically America government is well known for assassinating black leaders who spoke out for civil rights, like Martin Luther King Jr., who was found guilty, who U.S. government was found guilty in civil court for participating or conspiracy and taking his life. And other civil rights movements and individuals put in prison. And even today, there's many black people who are sitting in prison in the United States who are innocent. And they are sat there just for a status quo because of the systemic racism. And bills and laws that were passed, like the crime bill, which was passed to kill and to kill and destroy any type of black movement by putting a lot of blacks in prison at a large rate. Because the U.S. government is afraid and is scared that black people one day, if they had equal opportunity as whites, that they would have a handful or a way to get revenge for what white people did to blacks in this country. So the white man intentionally put the systemic racism in laws and red tape and so on and so forth on the black community to keep them from going to their best potential as one day being equally financially equal to whites. And white people are scared, and that includes the government, is scared that if the black people ever get to this level, that they would take revenge on them from what they did to them in slavery. So because of this and this thinking of the whites, due to his guilty conscience of his dirty actions of killing black people and oppressing them, slavery and Jim Crow and the red zoning and the mass incarceration and the crime bill and abortion and so on and so forth, destroying the black family, all these things were put there to make the black people to never reach their potential in this country. Why? Because the white man is guilty and he's fearful of his guilt. That because of his dirty hand and how he treated the blacks, that one day they will rise up and they will liberate themselves from them and they will seek their revenge. This is why there's red zoning. This is why police shoot down black people and walk away. This is why black people are incarcerated at a high rate. This is why criminal court in America is filled with black peoples. This is why our prison system is filled with black peoples. That's why you don't find a lot of our youth in the colleges and the universities. And the few that ends up there, they end up leaving college, university with high debts that's owned by white banks. Everything in this system, everything that America talks about is imagery, how it's the land of the free. It's not the land of the free for blacks. It says liberty and justice for all. When America pushes policies in the international community, and we can find some traces that even in the flights of the Black Lives Matter movement, that even some of them might be influenced by outside countries like China and Russia, who wants to show the whole world that America is a hypocrisy because it says justice for all. That doesn't include black people in America. Everybody knows that America is a lie. All these things America talk about freedom and justice, no, that's not for blacks. And that's why people like China and Russia is able to exploit these things and exploit these movies to show the world that America is not just for everybody. If you're black, it's not for you. That's why a lot of the government, that's why the FBI had found traces of the Russians infiltrated part of the election to show the whole world that, hey man, anybody could manipulate this country or government or policies. It's not really for all. It's only for certain groups of peoples. It takes away the it takes away the curtain. It moves the curtain away so you can see who's the real puppet master. This is the hypocrisy that you see in the United States. There's not justice for all. If you're black, it's not justice for you. It's only for a few selected peoples. And through all now this mass movement of black people having black conscience and white people doing symbolism with blacks, it will never change the situation until black people are ready to make changes on their own. Until people are able to pull the curtain and see what America really is for. It's not for everybody. It's only for certain groups of peoples and certain races of people. And certain people are allowed to do certain things as long as it's not a threat to white society or the government, which is the white society. Reflects to white society. Blacks don't have these type of opportunities. Some blacks don't even realize they're still looking at the curtains. No one turned the curtain or opened the curtain so they could see what's happening really behind the closed doors. Because we're caught off with imagery. We're fixed on imagery. We're not fixed on making change. But the United States, if you look at how it operates, how it deals with blacks and Muslims, for example, it uses only these things for propaganda